Okay, so this video is meant for a professor for a class in CDS 492 at George Mason University. It's posted on my YouTube channel because I want it to be a little bit easier for the professor to access. So if you're watching and you're not the professor, that's fine. But keep in mind that it is for a class. Okay, so let me just explain what's going on here. Okay, so this car right here, this car number one. Okay, so the next car is going to be called number two. This car, let's say this is me, right? When I go to order something, let's say I'm going to Starbucks, I order my my item. I Let's say I had one drink I wanted, one or hot beverage I wanted, one iced coffee, and one food item. Okay, so what I would want to do is I would want to order all those things, right? So I'd order here, I'd go around, then I would pay for everything right here, and I'd also receive my food, and I'd be out of someone's hair, right? Now, let's say McDonald's. Okay, so McDonald's, generally the expectations are that it serves customers a little bit faster because there's less labor involved. Okay, so what they have is they have something called a payment window. Okay, so this payment window allows someone to order right here instead of right here. Okay, now why would we do that? Okay, so the important thing of this is the window time. Okay, the window time is how you measure how well you're doing at moving along the speed of service, right? I can't control how long the line is going to be unless I'm going really, really fast. But sometimes the line's long and I'm doing a really good job, and sometimes the line is short and I'm doing a really bad job of managing the store. Okay, but the time that someone spends right here is how many customers I can fit in a half hour. Right? So if it takes me a minute to serve someone at that window, then that means I can serve 30 people in a half hour. But if it takes me 2 minutes, then I can only do 15 people in a half hour, which really limits the amount of food I can distribute. Right? So let's just um, see what happens when we run the simulation. Okay, so another thing to note, sorry, before I do that, is how many employees work, right? So right now I have 3 employees preparing an order. I have 1 employee who is responsible for receiving the payment. I have 1 employee who's at the window, and I have another employee right here who takes the order. Okay, and every second, there is a 0.015 chance that someone will look at the store and say, man, I kind of want to visit the store today, okay, and grab some bite to eat, maybe, right? Um, that does not necessarily mean they'll join the line, because if the line is really long, they might say, actually, never mind, I'll eat at home, okay? So right now, we can obviously see that the line is only 1 car long, so there's no need to do that, okay? So what I want to do is I want to say, let's go just for 1 minute. Okay. By the way, 0.1015 cars means that per second means that there's going to be 27 cars in a half hour. Okay. So all I need to do to really keep the line manageable is to have an average window time of less than 60 seconds. Or 60 seconds is actually fine. And I'll be able to handle those customers just fine. Right? So here, let's say I've got my payment window, and let's just go for a minute. Okay, this N right here indicates how many seconds I want to run this for. Okay, so let's go for 1 minute. Boom. Okay, you can see that they are ordering right now. Okay, and after a little while, their order will pop up. Okay, so let me slow this down just so nothing bad happens. And let me let the simulation go for a little bit. You can see that at right about 110 seconds, a little under 2 minutes, the car finally orders. Okay, and here are its food items, here are its drinks, and here are its shakes. I would like to have something that shows what each one of these represent, but I don't know how to create a legend yet. Okay, maybe that'll come along later. Maybe I have to do that in actual HTML and not in NetLogo, which is where I've been programming everything. I'm not sure what that'll take yet. Okay, but see, here's my food items, my food items, my drinks, and my shakes. Okay, now drinks and shakes, right? They could be more similar, I think, right? If let's say this is a coffee shop, shakes could represent iced coffees, iced beverages like frappuccinos, and a drink could represent a hot beverage like a hot coffee, right? Now they're just in different spots because the same people can't make them, right? The same people can make all the shakes they want. You can have 10 people making shakes, but you can't have, you know, people just bouncing in between the drink station and the shake station. Just the same with food, right? Um, let's keep this simulation going just a little bit longer. But first, actually, let me mention there are right now 3 food items ordered. There are 2 drinks ordered, and there's 4 shakes ordered. Okay, so it's a big order. Right now, the average food items is 1, the average drinks is 1, and the average shakes is 1. They all have a normal distribution, but keep in mind that if it's less than 1, then that just means they don't order anything. There's not a negative shakes, right? So let's just keep this simulation going for a little bit longer until I get to here. Okay, so notice that um, 2 drinks are ready now. Now, keep in mind, those drinks got prepared fast. Okay, so how do those drinks get prepared so fast? Well, it's because they only take 30 seconds to prepare, right? On the other hand, these shakes take 120 seconds, 2 minutes to make, and this one takes a minute to make, right? So you'd expect that we'd see some food get ready soon and some shakes get ready soon, but the drinks that I wanted are already prepared, okay? And now while I'm right here, I'm paying for my order, okay? Now let's keep the simulation going. You can also notice that someone else is back here ordering as well. Okay, so I'm going to keep the simulation going. I just paid for my order. You'll notice that I turned red because all I'm waiting for is for this person to do their job, which is hand it out, right? Well, the thing is, he doesn't have anything to hand out yet. All there are is a bunch of scattered drinks. I've got 4 drinks and 2 food items, right? What do I do with that? Okay, so that's why there's someone else in between who's responsible for bagging. Okay, now he's not shown in this, right? But keep in mind that there's another employee right here. Now I should mention that it's there right now. Right now I say there's 6 employees. There's really 7, so I'll have to update that in a little bit. But there's one employee responsible for putting together this bag. Right, that bag right there is all the bags of the order, right? And you can see right here that the order we have ready is number 2's order. Now, that might seem a little bit confusing, right? Why would we bag the second one before we bag the first one? Well, that's because the first one's still waiting on something, right? The first one's still waiting on 4 shakes. None of the shakes were prepared yet, right? So we still have to wait for all 4 of those shakes to be prepared. Oh, whoops. I did not mean to do that. And so we just said, well, let's bag this guy's first so that when he gets to the window, he'll be fine. Now we can let this simulation run for a little bit longer. You can see that things are going to keep happening in the background. And you'll notice that, man, this order is taking a long time. Now this is the Achilles heel of any drive-thru, right? So the real Achilles heel is when we have a lot of orders of the same thing, especially something that's really slow, like these average shakes, right? Now, if I just ordered 2 food items, 2 drinks, 2 shakes, that'd be relatively quick to prepare. But let's say I had 10 food items. Okay, that would really overload the food item people. And that would actually mean that that first order takes a long time to prepare. But now that I'm done with those shakes, you can see boom, boom, boom. We just knocked out a bunch of them. Okay, now these right here show what I'm waiting on. Okay, so right now I just need to bag things. I mean, it moves a little too quick for me to actually explain what's happening. So let's just slow this down and we'll pause it here. Okay, so right now we're waiting on everything to be bagged. Okay, that means that everything's ready. Okay, but I'm just waiting on this person to bag all the items. Okay, so the average bagging time is 50 seconds. Okay, so let's just run this. And it's going to take a little while for it to get there. But boom, now it's bagged. Okay, so now all we're waiting on is for it to be distributed, right? The person right here is going to take inevitably a little bit of time to hand over that bag. You'd think that it would be faster, but normally I think 20 seconds is a good enough estimation, just because, you know, the you have to have time to say my pleasure and someone to say thank you, and the other person has to put their car in gear and start moving forward. It's not as fast as you'd like to think, right? So now let's keep the simulation going, and as soon as this gets handed out, this car, let's speed this up a little bit, will simply disappear. Okay, now technically it died, right? But just because that's the terminology that NetLogo uses. But essentially what I can say is that a customer has been served, it's out of my line. Okay, now you can notice something bad here, right? There's something not good happening, which is that we've got a serious backup right here. Okay, this is really, really backed up. Um, why is it so backed up? It's because it's taking 80 seconds for each car to order, right? That's crazy. 80 seconds. I can't keep up with that. If I have 0.015 cars ordering every, or sorry, come by my line every second, then that means that over 80 seconds, let's see, 0.15 times 80, I'll get 1.2 customers, right? Which means that I'm getting more customers faster than they can order, right? And this line is going to go way back unless I do something about that. Okay, so here's where we open the floodgates. Okay, we'll do number DTO is 2. Okay, so now with 2 DTOs, I can press go, and you'll see that as soon as they get a chance to move, they'll both start to be in 2 lines, right? And that'll actually speed up this process a whole lot. That does more than just make sure that this line doesn't go far back, okay? Now I'll keep running for a little bit. You'll see nothing spectacular happening if I just speed this up a little bit. You'll see they keep serving, and right now my window time average is at 68 seconds. Okay, now it's going to go up quite a lot because this guy ordered quite a lot of shakes, and boom, we're at 98 seconds, right? A minute and a half. That means we can't even do 30 customers in a half hour, which really is not an impressive number, right? If we're over 100, this is not looking good for our staff. Okay, so what's the big holdup, right? You can see right now that there are 14 shakes in the queue. Okay, now I can't just say, well, let's make our shakes faster, right? That doesn't really make sense. Okay, that's a little bit hard to do. So why don't I give them another employee? Okay, now if I have 2 people making those shakes, and you can see there's 2 right here because there's 2 of them, now we should see our window time start to dramatically go down. Okay, now it's up to 103. Let's just speed this up a bit, and you'll see it starts to lower, right? Because we just needed a second employee there. Okay, now let's demonstrate the law of diminishing returns real quick. Let's say, I mean now it's going to be a little bit over exaggerated, but let's just set this up. And because we're using the set seed option, we'll have the exact same thing happen as last time. Okay, and that won't always happen, but let's see. That's weird. That is not the same exact thing as last time. I must have changed a random factor, which means that the set seed moves around a little bit. Yeah, that's got to be it, because otherwise I would get some shakes. But let's say waiting on some shakes. Let's wait till we can get a good amount of shakes stored up and start over this entire simulation. Okay. Man, these people, it must not be hot outside. It must be cold outside because they're not really feeling like ordering any shakes. Why don't I bump this up? Wow, though that shakes. Man, unlucky day for shakes. All right, there we go. So you see that we've got 5 shakes in the queue, right? Let's just change this to 2 people preparing shakes, and it goes a lot quicker, as you can see, right? It just got diminished really quickly. All right, now let's bump it down to 1. Let's wait till we get a bunch of shakes stocked up. Oh, looking busy for them. Okay, why don't I put 10 employees making shakes? Okay, you'll see the law of diminishing returns real quick. All right, now keep in mind I have 17 employees, kind of my bagging one, and you'll see that, I mean, I have some to prepare, but keep in mind it's not really going to slow anything down right now. 10 of those employees aren't doing anything, right? I've got all my shakes ready, but I'm waiting on my drinks and my food items, right? And my bagging, right? So once I put 10 employees on it, that really starts to slow things down, right? Now, if I had just found a way to make my shakes easier to make, that would not have such a law of diminishing returns. It still would diminish because we, we need to wait on these right here. to get made to do anything. But um, you know, if I have 10 employees making shakes and there's only 2 shakes to be made, 8 of those employees are idling, right? Which means that I am wasting good company money on employees for that, right? And you can see that right now our window time average is 52 seconds. Okay. Um, it's going to kind of fluctuate up and down, right? But let's just say I want to run this for a half hour, which will give me 1800 seconds. Okay, let's just press go n times and give it a second to run. Boom. Okay, so now you can see that we have actually helped already 21 cars, since there's 22 right here, and that our window time average was 63. Okay, now let's test something out, right? Let's say we had 1 DTO instead. Okay, let's see what our time would be. 75, right? That's a whole lot worse. Why is that worse? If I try it again, I'll get the exact same thing, right? Because I've got the same seed. But let's say I don't have the same seed. All right, let's run this. 88 seconds, 96, 108, 161, 74, 92. Those aren't great, right? But what if I turn it to 2 DTOs? All right, let's run it. And for some reason, this is a whole lot slower. Okay, so we got 144 there. That one's unlucky. I'm gonna bet that one on luck. Okay, now we're down to 77. I'm surprised it's so much slower. Oh, you know what? Yeah, there we go. 88 seconds, right? I actually thought it would be significantly faster. But you can see I was wrong, right? It's kind of hard to learn any of these things, especially when it's random. But if I had my set seed, wouldn't be so bad, right? By the way, if I turn the set seed on, it'll give me the exact same results as before, so we'll get a pretty small number right here, 63. There you go. Unfortunately, that's not how real life is, right? It'd be really easy to plan for things if everyone had the same order every day. But let's just say it was faster, right? My hypothesis that I embarrassingly found was wrong here was that if I have 2 people ordering, right, I can queue their orders a whole lot earlier, right? So I can put their orders right here and they can start working a little earlier. Although it looks like they were already probably swimming in some orders pretty quickly or pretty badly. So didn't really make a big difference. But you can see the benefit of having 2 lanes, right? Because I don't get these people really backing up. Forgot to change the seed. Yeah, you see, if I just press like this, man, look at those order lengths. I mean, you can see some of them are clear back here. Now, this gives me an opportunity right here to talk about the car's lost. Okay, so the car's lost 4 right now, right? So 4 cars lost. How did that happen? It's because 5 cars fit right now, right? Now, let's say I had 1 car fit, then it works a little bit differently. But what I'm saying right here is I can't actually fit car number 26. Car number 26 is waiting to join the line, but it's not there yet, right? It has to have this space right here, and it's technically back here, right? If this was like in real life, it couldn't be stored just on my computer, but it's essentially saying that there's a car waiting to join the line, but the line's too long, right? Now, at a certain point, and that's why I have this car's fit name right here, the person that says, man, I want Starbucks right now, and he goes to join the line and he sees it's too long, he's going to say, whoa, that is too long for me, right? So this cars fit button right here says, I mean, even if I'm only at 1 cars fit, right, that means that none of them will join, right? But let's say I'm at 5 cars fit, then that means that after here, they'll stop joining the line as frequently, right? Now, let's say, I mean, it's a linear change, but let's just say for sake of simplicity, that if there is 1 car to join, trying to join the line, and let's say my car's fit is 4, then there's a 75% chance they'll leave anyway, even after they said, I kind of want to join that line. just because I saw how long it was. Um, I'm not sure if I explained this too well right here or anything over here. You can see the drinks ready. I'm just trying to scan um, these little things right here to see if I explained everything. Okay, so this is the last thing I'm kind of seeing that I didn't explain. Um, right here, my average food items, average drinks, and average shakes. So, and then there's the average order size, which I'm actually not using right now. It does nothing, no matter what I do to change this. Won't do anything. This is here because I don't want to forget that I might want to use it later. Um, essentially, let's just have someone order after 60 seconds. There we go. Okay, so right now they've ordered one food item, one drink, and two shakes. Right now, let's say I turn on my average food, average drinks, average shakes. Did the same thing. And let's go. Wow, a lot of people joined that time. Now I've got two drinks, or sorry, now I've got, look at all these things stocked up, right? And only one person's ordered so far. They've got four food items, three drinks, actually five drinks and three shakes, right? Um, quite a lot, quite a big order, right? But I mean, I'm not sure what makes sense for this, right? Because it would make sense that if you ordered an iced coffee, right, you wouldn't order a hot coffee, right? Or that it seems like kind of those would contradict each other, right? So, I mean, maybe I'd say, for Chick-fil-A that you'd have average food item of two, right? You'd probably get like a fries and a Chick-fil-A sandwich. You get one drink on average and one shake, right? So maybe you'd say 0 and 0 for those. Really confusing. Unfortunately, because I don't know how people order food, it's really hard for me to say uh, what I want them to order, right? Let's say I was tuning this model to look like Chick-fil-A. Then I would want to go to Chick-fil-A. I want to see their receipts and how many people order and whatnot. And then I can make a model off of that, right? Or if I was at Starbucks, I can make a model off of that. But right now, because I don't see a clear way of doing it. This is my only way of doing it is just having this normal distribution of around 0 or whatever I want to put in here, right? And 0 kind of makes the most sense to me. Maybe 1 makes a little bit more sense. But even with 1, like how many people will go to Starbucks and order, uh, two food items and two drinks, three shakes, right? That doesn't really happen all that much. Um, and at the same time, who goes to McDonald's and orders the same thing or Chick-fil-A? That might be more likely. But I mean, if I just run this again, this guy, he didn't order any shakes. Maybe that's not a great example, but there's a chance that someone will just order shakes from McDonald's. Yeah, who does that, right? Or who orders just shakes from Chick-fil-A? I guess it happens, but it's not that likely, right? Whereas in this case, it's really likely. So that's something that I'm not happy with is these distributions right here, but it's really the only way of doing it. I could just have the option of not uh, allowing it as a parameter and just plugging something random in. The other thing I was kind of looking at doing is saying the average order size. So let's say they on average ordered 6 items. Okay, now it actually won't work, so I don't know why I'm pressing go. But let's say they order 4 items on average. That means what I could do is I could have something like I don't know, hunger, thirst, and sweet tooth, right? And that would be from 0 to 1. Okay, and from 0 to 1, I could say the chance that one of those food items would be a food item, the chance that one of them would be a drink, and the chance that one of them would be a shake. Okay, and that does kind of make more sense to me, right? But I mean, it would involve a little more math involving normalizing the data and everything. But I still don't know if that's exactly it because that would that would have a lot of factors in it, and I don't know if that really makes sense. But anyway, that's it for it. If anyone has any questions or suggestions, just let me know. Thanks for watching.